Guys, what's going on? Smash the like button on this video. Really smash the like button on this video. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel and share and obviously share the video with all your friends. Now, guys, firstly, Salman, the first topic I'm going to talk about in this video is Canelo says, I'm still the best fighter in the sport. This video, by the way, is going to be a mixture of everything. We're going to talk about all the current things in boxing. So Canelo Salman says in the press conference, I'm still the best fighter in the sport. I'm still pound for pound #1, baby. What's your thoughts on that?
I think he's one of the pound for pound fighters in the world, whether he's #1 at this point.
Do you think after a loss that you still the best fighter in the sport, or do you think your value goes down?
It just depends how you lose, though, innit? You know, he lost.
Is he pound for pound #1? Is he gone down? Is his value gone down?
No, he's not pound for pound #1. He's not pound for pound.
Who's pound for pound #1?
Probably Usyk.
Usyk, yeah. I have to give it to Usyk.
And then probably 2, Terence Crawford.
Yeah. Where would you put Canelo? Inoue, 3?
I would have Devin Haney up there.
Oh, Devin. But Inoue is a 3-4 weight world champion.
No, he's in there as well. Like, he would probably be in the top 5. But yeah, like
Devin
Haney wasn't even on the list. Like, they didn't even put him
but
on the
Devin
list.
Haney's only a champion in 1 weight class. Inoue's done it over 3 weight classes. He's moved up from 108. He's now at 118, and he's 1 belt away from being undisputed at 118.
Yeah, no, Inoue is definitely in the pound for pound list for sure. He's definitely in the top 5. You know, whether you put him #3 or whether you put him #4, you know, that's obviously based on opinion. But
where's Canelo?
He can't be lower than 4 or 5. Like,
So would you go Terence? Usyk, Crawford.
Yeah, but some people don't even have Usyk #1. Some people have Terence Crawford #1.
Whatever. But
I think
the Ring Magazine have Usyk #1. I think they've got him Canelo at #6. I think. But basically, what we're saying is that if you lose a fight, you can't be pound for pound #1. Full stop. Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
No, your stock has to go down.
But the thing is, I disagree to a certain extent because obviously, who's taking risks like Canelo? Like, he went to 175. Like, who's basically, as he said, like, he's handicapping himself. He's not fighting at his natural weight. You got to realize, let's not forget, Canelo's right. He moved up to fight Golovkin. He was at 154. He moved up to 160, and then Golovkin's like, yeah, I respect you for that. Because Golovkin knows what it is. Golovkin was a bigger man in that fight, that first fight, right? Canelo moved up to 160. He was fighting at 154. So let's not be mistaken there. This guy's moved up crazy weight classes. And now he handicapped himself against Bivol because he's a warrior. You know, so potentially you could even say he might not be #1. I don't think he's #1. I don't think he's #1 not because of that. I think he's #1 because I think Usyk's more skillful than Canelo, to be honest. He's got better feet. You know, I just think he's better. He's Olympic 2-time gold medalist, undefeated, washed out the cruiserweight division. You know, if he beats this one belt away from being undisputed heavyweight champion. So you can't deny them skills. You know, Joshua was way bigger than Usyk, but Usyk found a way. So that just goes to show that, you know, Usyk's boxing ability is far more superior than Canelo's. So when Canelo comes up against a big guy, he can't school him because he doesn't have the same boxing ability of Usyk, and that's what it means. That's what it means. Because, you know, let's really be honest, right? Joshua was an Olympic gold medalist as well. Dimitri Bivol was a bronze medalist. You know, you can't say that Joshua was an easy touch for Usyk. That wasn't an easy touch. That was a hard fight. You know, Usyk was, you know, if you see his face at the end of the fight, he didn't have that easy. You know, a lot of people say, Joshua fought the wrong fight. It's irrelevant. He still won the fight. So he's a beast, isn't it? He's a beast. So, you know, Canelo's not better than, he can't be above Usyk. That's for sure. No way. Usyk's got to be #1 right now. Usyk's got to be #1. But if Terence Crawford beats Errol Spence, then obviously we've got to put respect on Terence Crawford's name, because a lot of people say, "Oh, you're light. You can't become undisputed. You're too small at 147."
Salman, I want to move on from the pound for pound list, and I want to talk about Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk. Salman, if you watched the press conference, Anthony Joshua really tried to get into Usyk's head by staring at him. Who came out on top in that press conference?
I don't really know, to be honest. It was just a funny one, to be honest. It was, Joshua
Can Joshua get into Usyk's head?
No.
Why?
I just don't think Usyk really cares about all of that crap. Like, Usyk just, I've seen him, when they were doing the face-off, when they were in the ring. He's just a cool, calm guy. He just comes to do his business. He's not, none of this actually means anything to him. Press conference. He probably doesn't even know what Joshua was even saying, to be honest. Joshua was like, "Oh, I think you beat my ass the first time, but, I'm coming this time." I don't think any of that matters. However, one thing I will say, this is going to be a different fight to the first one, because it's either going to be Joshua's going to get him or Usyk's going to knock Joshua out.
What do you think it's going to be?
What do I think it's going to be? I think Usyk will knock Joshua out.
In 6, 7 rounds?
Probably even quicker, because how I think the fight's going to pan out, as Tyson Fury said, because obviously AJ know that boxing style didn't work. What AJ's literally going to do, the first 3 rounds, he's going to come like an absolute, he's just going to let his combinations go and just go crazy. And what that's going to mean, AJ doesn't have the engine. So what that's going to mean is he's going to gas out and he's going to get knocked out because he's gassed out. It might not be potentially, Usyk hurts him so bad. It'll probably be just a case he's gassed out and he can't stand on his feet because he's gassed. As Tyson Fury said, when Joshua throws a 4-5 punch combination, he needs a minute to rest, to recover again. So it's not...
Do you think Usyk will sense that and Usyk will jump on him?
Yes. Usyk isn't going to be like Klitschko, where it's going to be 2-3 rounds off. Usyk's too smart and too shrewd. He'll get him. And you got to realise that potentially that's the only way for Joshua to win. For Joshua to land hellacious, like not tippy-tappy how he did last time. Throw a few good counters here and there, hit him, but it wasn't with bad intentions the last time he fought. I thought he was tippy-tapping him. I don't think he threw one shot where you could say that was a hellacious shot. This time, I think Robert Garcia...
Do you think he'll make a difference, Robert Garcia?
No, he'll make him more aggressive, but your engine is your engine. You only have so much. Joshua's only going to be able to last a set. Look, he's going to come out with it. He's not going to fight how he did last time, because Joshua is, as he said, he learns from his mistakes, but I just don't think against his style, as I said, unless he can land a hellacious shot on Usyk and Usyk goes down heavily where his legs have stumbled and, Joshua can really, really put in the work. But if Joshua is to win this fight, right, he's going to have to empty his tank how he did like against the Klitschko one, go down and be able to come back, maybe survive for 2 rounds somehow against Usyk, get gas back in the tank again, and then win like that. I can't see him winning any other way. He's not going to outbox Usyk. The only way, it has to be a fight like that where Usyk's gone down twice, Joshua's going to end up going down because he's gassed out, and then Joshua has to somehow recover, which I don't know whether he can against someone like Usyk, and he's going to have to maybe recover for 1-2 rounds, get more energy how he did against like the Klitschko one, and then be able to... It's going to be a fight like that if Joshua's going to win. Joshua isn't going to win in a pretty fight, that's for sure. As we've seen last time, that style isn't going to work. So this fight doesn't go halfway, you're right. It doesn't go, I don't even think it goes past 4 rounds. Because, as I said to you, the styles of what it is, it's not going to go past 4 rounds. Because Joshua this time isn't going to box. He's going to literally run to him the first round on the inside and maul him. He's not going to fight like Chisora, but he's going to fight more at a closer range where, he doesn't give Usyk a chance to breathe. Because on the inside, if they fight the most of the fight on the inside, right, Joshua's a stronger man. He can throw body shots. But if he fights on the outside, he can't win. But he isn't going to do that this time. He isn't... Robert Garcia, we know what sort of coach he is. He's already said that he fought the complete wrong fight the first time. So... which is going to basically mean Joshua's most likely going to get knocked out in this fight because he's going to try go for the knockout himself. And yeah, he'll probably be open to get knocked out himself because he's going to be too aggressive. And that will probably be his downfall, in my opinion, in this fight. 90% Usyk, that's probably what's going to happen. Unless Joshua can find something within him. If Joshua can pull this off, that in my opinion this would be probably Joshua's best win of his career by miles, because this is gonna be where he has to go somewhere where he's never been before. So can he do it, or is he just not got the engine, got the chin to do it? But it's a tall order. You've got to favour Usyk.
Salman, moving on. There's big talks of Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor rematch. And it's $1 billion fight, they say. It's $1 billion fight. Conor McGregor over the last couple of years has had it very tough. He don't know what he's doing. He's got himself in a lot of trouble. Floyd Mayweather is doing these silly exhibitions still, making a lot of money. Could we see Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor get it on for the second time?
If the money's there, then yeah, Floyd will do anything. Floyd's always in shape. Floyd's fighting. He's fighting an exhibition fight in September.
Conor McGregor said this time it will be different. I'll knock him cold.
No, you can't knock. Listen, Conor McGregor won't knock Floyd out. Although he's probably 10 years younger, he's not knocking Floyd out. Floyd's fit, he's strong, he's ready, and Floyd will knock him out again. It will be this. Plus, Conor McGregor's completely finished now, anyways, as a fighter, completely. Like before that first Floyd fight, he was probably motivated. I know how these fighters are. He's got a lot of money now. You know, he's had a bit of a turbulent time in the MMA. He's losing every single fight now. He's not going to beat Floyd Mayweather. It's just not going to happen, unfortunately. I think Floyd Mayweather could beat some of the fighters now. Not the top ones, but I think he could beat some like an area champion, no problem, even now. You know, even though he doesn't fight actively. So, listen, man, there's probably world champions now in boxing that Floyd Mayweather could beat, let alone, you know, Conor McGregor. So, Conor McGregor's going to get knocked out because Conor McGregor's just over the hill as well. He's as over the hill as Mayweather. But Mayweather, he's too smart, too good. He'll beat Conor McGregor. Again, it'll be the same thing. Floyd will beat him up.
Are you interested in this fight?
No, not at all. It's not going to do big pay-per-view numbers, I'm being honest. You know, like, it doesn't matter how big stars they are, it's got to appeal. This does not appeal.
Well, why doesn't it appeal?
It doesn't appeal because it's a crap fight. It's just like, doesn't matter how big you are. If you're putting on rubbish, then it's rubbish. Like, most people are going to think, oh, not this again. This is some crap. Like, don't get me wrong. Maybe the die-hard boxing fans would watch it, but I wouldn't lose sleep if I wouldn't care if I watched it or if I didn't, to be honest. It wouldn't faze me. Whereas, if I miss Spence versus Crawford, I would be like, crap, no, I don't want to miss that. But if I miss Mayweather McGregor, I wouldn't really mind. I wouldn't really care because it doesn't really mean anything in boxing today. It's not really a big event today. No one cares about them now. They're past their best. You know, it's not. First time round, yeah, it was massive because it was two sports coming to. But doing it a second time, it's not going to have the same impact. It's not. It'll do decent-ish pay-per-view numbers, but I just don't think that fight. Yeah. It's not something I really want to watch, to be honest. And probably loads of other fans won't even want to watch it. Not just me.
Salman, let's move on then. And let's talk about Arthur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. Eddie Hearn said, forget the Anthony Yarde fight. Let's get the Bivol fight done. What do you make of that?
100%. 100%. But why does Beterbiev need to fight Anthony Yarde? No offense to Anthony Yarde.
But they say Lions in the camp. That Lions in the camp's going to beat Arthur Beterbiev.
But, you know, saying Lions in the camp, you know, giving those instructions in the corner doesn't mean you're going to beat Beterbiev. Beterbiev's a guy that just gets on with his business. He doesn't really talk a lot, but...
What happens when Beterbiev takes on Anthony Yarde?
Beterbiev will beat Anthony Yarde. I've always said it. You know, I'm not just saying it to say it. Everyone knows that. Like, Frank Warren knows that. Everyone knows that. Anthony Yarde can't beat... How's Anthony Yarde going to beat Beterbiev? How is Anthony Yarde? Anthony Yarde doesn't even punch that hard to beat Beterbiev. You know, he couldn't even put Kovalev down. He wobbled him. He couldn't even put him down. Eddie Alvarez splattered Kovalev. You know? Anthony Yarde gasses out in hard fights. And Beterbiev's going to be more than a hard fight. How's he going to win that fight? Beterbiev's going to be... As Virgil Hunter said, brain damage. It's going to be brain damage. It's going to be Anthony Yarde is not ready for... I'm sorry. They pushed him in early against a washed-up Kovalev and he wasn't ready. He was not ready for Beterbiev. Everyone knows he's not ready for Beterbiev. Beterbiev's a monster. He's a monster. Didn't you see what he did to that guy? That guy, I don't even know whether he's out of the hospital yet. The guy had head injuries. And that fight only went 2 rounds and he had head injuries from some of the shots Beterbiev hit him with. I don't think people understand. They say he's slow. Beterbiev has thunderbolts in his hands. Believe you me, he punches. His fists are like iron. When he punches you, you feel him. He's not the biggest of bodybuilders like Anthony Yarde. He doesn't look like as good as Anthony Yarde, but he punches harder. Some people just have a punch. And Beterbiev can punch, and he's not just a guy that punches. He's an intelligent fighter. You know, so he was slipping and countering Joe Smith.
Salman, moving on from Arthur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol, Ryan Garcia says he's going to put Gervonta Davis to sleep. What's your take on that?
I personally think Ryan Garcia, I don't even know when the last time he fought, to be honest. He's a YouTuber, to be honest, in my eyes. He just talks a big game. He was like that, oh yeah, forget De La Hoya will make the fight, no problem. When he knows, the thing is, Ryan Garcia, he's the type of guy that talks a lot, but he doesn't walk the walk. That he just is what he says things.
But that's a bit harsh on Ryan. That's a bit harsh on King Ryan.
He says things that are not true. It's just not
That's
possible.
a bit harsh on King Ryan.
He's gonna just
he's trying to make the business. He's been shouting on social media. He wants to fight with Gervonta Davis.
I think
he wants to fight with Gervonta Davis. He wants to smoke Gervonta Davis boots.
No, he probably wants to smoke him. Yeah, for sure. Who wouldn't? But he's not being realistic in the stuff he says. Like, oh yeah, we don't need De La Hoya. He's under contract with De La Hoya. How's he gonna make that fight without De La Hoya? He'll be breaching a contract. You can't do that. Even Leonard Ellaby said that. Listen, he's talking crap. Sometimes people say things when they know things aren't possible to make it out as if they really want to fight. He doesn't. Really
You do listen to a lot of Leonard Ellaby.
No, but what he's saying is no. I don't listen to everything, but what he's saying is the truth. Like for example, if you're in a contract with someone, right, and then you're saying, oh, you're just going to completely dismiss that guy. Oh yeah, screw him. Like, we don't need him to make the fight. Of course you do. You're under contract, so you're only going at it with Leonard Ellaby because you're under contract and you know that you can make a bit of noise, even though realistically in your head I'm under contract with De La Hoya. I can't make this fight. By screaming. Look, man. He knows the truth. He knows that that Davis is a real deal when he fights Ryan Garcia, and he knows that. Obviously, he's going to say he's going to put someone to sleep, and he's not going to listen. He couldn't put Tego to sleep, so come on, let's be honest. He's not. I can't see him putting Davis to sleep. But if he wants to believe that, then he can believe that. But when they do fight, the truth is really going to hurt him. It's just going to happen. He can't win, man, in that fight. He doesn't have better skills. He doesn't... Yeah, he has probably faster hands, but that ain't going to do it. When you get timed onto a good one, when you're as open as Ryan Garcia is, not that great defense. You have to be smarter than that. Certainly when you're in there with Tank, he'll just time you onto one in 12 rounds when you have a leaky defense. It's quite easy to predict that fight, to be honest. It's a one-sided fight. It just is. I'm sorry. I'm not. Ryan Garcia he'll beat the guys he's up against. Fortuna. He'll probably beat Fortuna, but when he fights the top guys, he's going to probably fall short. He's not the best in the division. There's probably, I think Lomachenko's a better fighter than Ryan Garcia, more technical, more skillful. I'll be honest, I think Lomachenko will dance all around Ryan Garcia and just pepper him and make him look silly with that sort of style he has. Davis, I think, will just time him onto one. Devin Haney will probably outbox him. I think Teofimo knocks Ryan Garcia out as well. I really do. I just think Ryan Garcia, out of all those guys, is probably the weakest link. Although he fought out of the Davis Haney, he fought obviously Luke Campbell, right? Which he was one of the guys that fought a really top guy first. But now, the tables have turned. Haney's now undisputed. Ryan Garcia's career has really, it's not gone anywhere. You know, when was the last time Ryan Garcia had a fight? And who was it against? Tego. You know, no one knows who that is. You know, now he's fighting Fortuna, right? He didn't fight Devin Haney when he was Devin Haney's mandatory for the WBC belt, which made no sense to me. You know, when you're a mandatory challenger, you go for the belt. But he said, I'm only interested in it, like fights that are going to be interesting, because he knows Devin Haney is too slick and he's going to make it a boring fight and just, you know, wipe the floor with him. And the only reason he's saying Davis, because most people in the boxing industry think Davis is going to put him to sleep. So he's probably thinking that, you know, I'm going to get paid more for that fight, you know, and I'd rather get paid more to, you know, get put to sleep, really. So,
Salman, just lastly, before we finish off, Adam Azeem is fighting tomorrow. There's a lot of hype around that kid. People say he's going to be the next Nazim Hamed. He's going to be the next Khan. What do you make of him so far?
So far, obviously, he's fighting, you know, really like area champions and, you know, guys from the UK. We can't really gauge much at the minute, honestly. You know, these skills look good, but when you step up, you know, it's different. It's different. What weight class is he?
135.
Yeah, 135. So these skills that he's got now look good, you know, to the level of opposition he's fighting. It's like Josh Kelly. He looked good, didn't he? He looked like $1 million. Like, oh, people like, oh, Avanesi and no chance. But you got to realise it's different. You know, it's different. Trust me, when you step up, it's not as easy as what you think. That, oh, yeah, he's a crap fighter. This is why when people criticise fighters, like, for example, Khan, people don't actually realise, like, how good the guy was. Like, to get to, like, look at Josh Kelly. He looked $1 million. But did he cut? He lost at European level. He lost at European level. He couldn't even cut it at European level. You know, so you got to realise I'm not really too high on, you know, all these British fighters yet. Adam Azeem, Hamza Shiraz. They've not really done anything in the sport. They've not fought anybody. You know, these are all chicken feeds right now. You know, guys from the UK that can't fight. When he gets in there with someone that can fight and hit him back on the chops, then obviously then we'll see how good he is. But until then, we can't really, you know. Adam Azeem is a guy that doesn't have much amateur pedigree, right? Yeah, looks like he's got a few skills, but it looks good against this level of, you know, competition. But yeah, I can't really gauge how good he is, to be honest. I don't wanna just say, oh yeah, I don't think he can't do anything, because he might go on to do big things. We can't write anyone off. But
Shane McGuigan's trained David Haye, Carl Frampton, George Groves. He said he's the most talented kid that I've ever trained, ever.
probably maybe talking about
David Haye was
in terms of yeah, but when did he train? He trained David Haye at the end of his career, so it's not really, that doesn't really count. If he had trained David Haye at the start, maybe he would have a different opinion. But maybe in terms of the way Adam Azeem, you know, puts his punches together, how slick he is, I don't know in what sense he means, you know. But
what about Carl Frampton? He trained him at the start. He trained Josh Taylor at the start. He trained, what's his name? George Groves, Lawrence Coley.
I think obviously what he's like, it's a bit premature. What he's probably saying it because he's his fighter. You know, he trains both the Azeem brothers, but it's premature. Come on, let's be honest. You can't say he's better than Lawrence or Coley. Those guys are world champions. Come on, man. You can't be better than a world champion. Like, how do we even know this guy will win at European level? You know, you got to realize the guys at 135. Like if you were to look at it now, does Adam Azeem beat Tank? No. Does Adam Azeem beat Devin Haney?
Yeah, but it's unfair. He's had a couple fights.
This is what I mean, though. So we can't really, like, if you look at it now, even the way he looks now, you can't say that this guy's going to go on to even beat them now. Like, I don't know. Maybe he does, but I just don't. It's just a lot. It seems easier than it looks. We'll see when he gets into a fight, you know, how good his chin is. You know, a lot of these things, when you're fighting chicken feed, you don't see. You don't see how good your chin is. You don't see these things. We don't know how good the kid's chin is. He might be, you know, that's a big part. That's an integral part of boxing. A chin. A chin is like, you could have the most skills in the world. Khan had the most skills in the world, but that was his downfall in a lot of fights. If he had a good one of those, that might have been, he might have been able to get through those, and God knows where his career would have ended up. So I don't know about Adam Azeem. I'm not sold on any of these fighters, because, you know, until they get to that level where, you know, all right, they've proven it against this guy that we actually heard of, then we can give him props. You know, until then, you know, we can just say, oh yeah, he looks good. Think about it, right? Someone like Jaron Ennis is rated a lot more higher than Adam Azeem, right? And people are saying the same thing with him, that, oh, well, you know, when's he going to get in with a stiff test? So people can see, although probably the stiff test he gets, he's probably going to splatter them, most likely, because he's that good. But people still want to see it. So, you know, Adam Azeem's no different. Adam Azeem's got to, you know, once he fights one of the 4 or 5 fights, he's got to get in there with someone that's going to, you know, last some rounds.
Leave your thoughts, guys, in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.